Hey guys, welcome to our gold mastermind, our gold and senior gold and above mastermind. I know we have some higher ranks who like to hop on and gather all the juicy things that we can give out. So I am here with these beautiful diamonds and we are excited to share these things with you tonight. We were like, what do the golds need to know to advance to the next level? And if you're already at the next level, you haven't done these things, make sure you cover these basics. The very first foundation is belief, and you really can't move very far or very fast in your business if you do not have the belief down pat. Belief in yourself, belief in the products, and belief in network marketing. And if you're struggling in any of those areas at all, the way to overcome it is to learn and to just do it. It's really simple. You don't need to sit there saying, okay, I don't have belief in myself. Let me really build myself up and all these things. It's just making a couple choices. And we're going to share some tips on that too, like affirmations, stuff like that. But you just need to make the choice that you are going to overcome it. Okay, I don't know a lot about the products, or I get nervous when somebody goes through detox. Just learn about the products and how they work. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. And that is going to be our first topic is belief.
Yeah. So wherever you guys are at right now, I think it's important to kind of be honest with ourselves in terms of where you feel you're at. What are some thoughts that have gone through your head? Do you have, really solid belief? If you don't, that's okay, because I know I didn't necessarily right away. There's a lot of people who did not have crazy, incredible belief right away, but do a self-check. Like, where are your thoughts? Do you find yourself saying things, well, I know it can work for them, but I don't know about me. We'll see. Or, I'll try and see what happens. Or, I just want to get lucky. I need just to find a rock star. And then maybe I can do it. What are some thoughts that you have had or maybe still struggle with, things that creep in? And those are some things to identify. I don't have this on for later to revisit, but write that down is something to think about and to identify, because that is what we want to switch around. That is where you need to change your thought pattern and belief in what is going to happen here, because your actions and what you do is going to match what you're thinking and what you're believing. So if that's what you keep telling yourself, then your actions moving forward might not be what you really do need to do to make it happen, to work hard and to fight through some of the things and the hard things that will certainly happen, because it is going to happen. There are things that come. So where's your belief? What are you telling yourself? When I started, I didn't necessarily have that, but other people had that. Tiffany and Phallin had that. So if people have that rock solid belief, borrow our belief right now. We have the things, we have the systems, you absolutely can do this. So what do you know? What are some facts about what you know? We talk about belief in the products, the company, and the industry in general, and yourself. Some of the things that Tiffany and Phallin told me right away on a call when I started, they said, listen, we have products that people need. We have products that anybody can utilize and need. So these are consumable. These are things that everyone needs, right? We have a company filled with integrity. We have the best compensation plan. They're constantly working with us in terms of how to better the field, right? And you can absolutely do this. If other people can do it, then you can. There's no reason you can't, unless you're going to put yourself and put roadblocks up for yourself. So like Phallin said, you decide. You can have those thoughts, but as soon as you have them, kick them out and replace them with the right thoughts, and decide just to do it. Even if you're uncomfortable, even if you're not 100% sure, tell yourself I'm going to do this, and just start replacing that. And your actions are going to massively matter in terms of what you are telling yourself and what you're thinking.
I totally agree on that. And I think, like Jaime said, starting out, we all struggled with that a little bit, with that lack of belief a little bit, because, you're new, and these are new, and what you're doing is new. Maybe you're new to network marketing. Maybe you're new to, sharing products like this or whatever. But we talk about borrowing belief, and that is something that's really important to do because your upline has that and you can borrow that, and that's okay. But you also, like Jamie said, have to make an effort to keep learning and growing and, doing the things that are going to help your belief grow so you don't have to borrow that belief anymore. Okay. And so when you are reaching out and talking to people about our products and our business opportunity, if you don't have the belief in yourself, what is going to make them believe you and want to join you? You've got to have that belief yourself too. Okay. Because people can feel that. They might know that. So you have to have that belief when you are going out and sharing what we have. It's really important to find that belief, and ways that you can do that are constantly in front of you in team pages, in team calls, in book clubs, everywhere, Diamond Docs. You have to be pouring yourself into finding ways to build your belief. And those are ways that you can do that. I had to do that first too. Jamie was talking about this, and her and Tiffany and Val and Sue are all my upline, and I borrowed their belief too. And I just, there were times where I doubted, but I kept going, and I built my belief by pouring into different trainings and reading books and stuff like that. And I believed them. I believed what they told me because I trusted them. And that's a big part of it too.
Yeah. And, going off that, like we really did. Like, I remember, we've heard the story about Phallin sitting in her pool and floating, and she was gold, but she believed that we were going to diamond. And like all these ladies have said, that's what we needed. We decided then, it was a decision that we made to be committed. And even if it didn't look like we were going anywhere, we knew that we were going there, and we were doing all those action steps and those things to get there. I mean, I was, ordering business cards, Plexus swag, just all of the stuff to say, hey, I'm all in, I'm committed to do this. I was reading the personal growth, reading the books. And, in the beginning for me, the very first month of our IPA, I lost my sister to breast cancer. But I had decided, y'all, to use those moments and take that belief, knowing that these products could change so many lives and do so much for so many people with this opportunity. And that's and it was all on borrowed belief. Like, when I first started my detox story, I mean, I couldn't get off the toilet, y'all, but I was like, dang it, she telling me these products work, so I'm going to stick it out. Like, I'm going to keep doing this because I believe. I didn't, have a victim mindset. I didn't, think of my circumstances and think that I couldn't do it. I believed without a doubt that these products needed to be in the hands of everyone I knew, and just talking to other people, hearing from the time, our oncologists, doctors we knew, having confirmed that these products are good, So again, hearing that from other people and never using those as crutches or excuses in my business. And so you want to have belief in the products, in the business, in network marketing, and in yourself, and find out, what is deep down holding you back from actually having that belief. Is it a fear? Is it, what other people might think? Is it a comfort thing? You don't want to get uncomfortable, really dig deep into that. And y'all know that, your present circumstances aren't going to determine where you can go. They're just determining where you start. So if you're sitting there today and you're saying, okay, I'm all in, I'm choosing to believe, then commit to that and don't let anything stop you with that.
Yeah, so the opposite of belief is doubt. And that is how you know if your belief isn't solid or where it needs to be. So if somebody asks you about the business and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to talk to them about the business. I'm only gold. I've been gold for 3 years. I'm not a diamond. I can't do this. That is doubt. If somebody asks you what your goals are or where you're going. So for example, maybe your downline asks you that, or even your upline, and you're like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'd like to be emerald in the next 5 years, but you're not really setting goals. that is a sign that there's doubt about yourself. Doubt in the products would be, I have no idea how to troubleshoot this. I don't know what to do. Or, oh, there goes another one. Products didn't work for that person either. You have all these negative thoughts in your mind instead of believing from the foundation that these products work, that network marketing is the best industry, and that I am amazing. I can do anything I decide to do. You let that doubt bring you down. So you have to choose to overcome that. So in the chat, I want to know who has heard of affirmations and who has actually done them. Do you guys know what positive affirmations are, or if you have done them? So Lori, my sponsor, told me about them, and I thought she was crazy and I didn't want to do it, but I definitely made that a priority. She had us write it down on our 3x5 cards. And I was like, okay, this is the dumbest thing I have ever done, but I am not having success and she's having success and she's telling me to do it. So I'm going to do it. So I wrote it down. So whatever is, I see some people are saying they haven't done them. Whatever you are struggling with, you need to write down the opposite. So if you're like, nobody wants to join my team, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, nobody wants this, write down the opposite. Everybody wants Plexus. Everybody wants to join my team. Do you guys have anything on affirmations before we jump into our gold stories?
I wanted to just share some,
You good? Go for it.
Go ahead.
okay. Oh, sorry. I didn't know if I was, okay. I just wanted to share, because I printed this off tonight, but like these were affirmations, y'all, when I first started, that I took these affirmations and I cut them out and I posted them all over the place that I could see them. So upstairs, doing my makeup, doing anything, these were the ones that I used. And I have a blank template I can post later too, but I put them by my computer, I put them in my car, I put them everywhere. And they said, they said so much stuff. I'm a child of God who reflects the love of Jesus in all my actions. I have an opportunity and a product that people are desperate for and need. When I speak, people are drawn to me. They hear what I want to say. I'll lead with integrity and vision and change thousands of lives. I step out of my comfort zone daily. I'm willing to do what others are unwilling to do to accomplish the dream that God put in my heart. I mean, there's 12 of them here, but these were things that I needed to hear in my business. And I'm sure that so many of you need to tell yourself in your own business to really grow. And I'm telling you, the power of affirmations, I promise y'all, like it makes so much of a difference. Like I believe without a doubt, that was what got me from Sapphire to Diamond, was finally, and that's, sitting at Sapphire, getting me to believe in myself and that I could do this. And yes, I will post the ones I used, and I will also post a blank template for y'all. But okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you shared that, Tiff. Based off what, I want to piggyback quick before we shift gears, but off of what Tiffany and Phallin said, doubt was mentioned. And I just want to point out, when we doubt ourselves, if we can shift our mindset and acknowledge the fact that we are doubting God, that makes a big difference in how and if we doubt ourselves, right? Because it is not just us. God created us all with our own gifts and everything else, and he grows us when we go out of our comfort zones, right? So if he's truly capable of all things and we can do all things through him who strengthens us, then we aren't going to doubt what is possible, right? So we don't limit God and what he can do through us. And when you talk about belief, it doesn't just stop with you, it's how you impact other people too, right? How is that, what God is going to do through you and where your belief goes, how is that going to connect with other people that you bring along? Because you don't get yourself to Diamond by yourself. If you get to Diamond, it's because you're raising up other leaders and you're bringing other people along with you. You're going to develop other jewels. You're going to develop other diamonds under you. So how is that going to impact their lives? So the decisions you make right now and how you shift your perspective and how you decide to move forward also has a massive ripple effect. I know the four of us on here can hardly even fathom the ripple effect that has been happening through all of this. And if we would have given up on ourselves or let those doubts or fears happen, we wouldn't be where we are right now, right? And lastly, our fears that can come up. A big one is a fear of failure. Like Phallin was saying, like maybe our history, or Tiffany was mentioning that, you know, or just not worrying about failing and what's next, being fully committed, because then you fail in front of everybody, right? But I just want to normalize that really quick. Everyone is going to fail. Everyone's going to have hiccups. We all have failed at things. We all have had problems, but it's who picks themselves up and learns through it and keeps going. Lean into problems and failures, because it's going to grow you into who you need to be to show up as that leader, as that diamond leader down the road. So these things are important and they're okay. And as soon as we acknowledge that and are okay with failing, with not being perfect, with not being having it all together, and we're okay with figuring it out and just running and working through things, then that is going to help you move forward to your next step and help you build your belief. And all of that is going to have that ripple effect and keep coming. So.
All right. Well, we wanted to share a little bit of it's so easy. I think I've been a diamond for 6 years. They've been there many years too. And it's so easy as gold and senior golds for you to look at us and be like, well, they're diamonds. Like I'll hear it a lot, like, well, this is what Phallin's doing on her social media, or this is what they do. But at some point, we were you guys. We don't see anything new, anything shocking. We've been there. That was us. We went through these things. And a big part of my gold story, I had hit gold and then lost my points. Brittany Howard was my main worker, and she was halfway to gold and she quit. And so that, that affected my business, and she was my closest friend, and that I didn't let that affect me. But it took me 2 years to get past that. And one day I woke up and I was like, oh my gosh, am I senior gold? What the heck happened? And I was shocked. But that's because I stopped worrying about my points. I set goals, which we're going to talk about next, but I stopped worrying and obsessing over every person who quit. And I went and found people who wanted this. I had 80 customers in my first few weeks, and that was before we knew we wanted ambassadors and selling the triplex. But I had 80 customers, and I lost all of them because I didn't know what I was doing and I had to learn. But my mindset is that everything is figure outable. And that is why I became a diamond. So I think it was 9 or 11 months after I hit senior gold, then I went straight to diamond, and I ranked back to back until emerald, and then a few months in between sapphire and diamond. And a big part of my story was the affirmations. I stopped telling myself that my kids were holding me back, or that I had no help and I couldn't do it. And I drew my line in the sand multiple times, many, many times at gold. I went to convention. I'm like, this is it. I'm doing it this time. And it didn't happen. The next year, I still wasn't there. But that third year for convention, I went back as a diamond, and I had a ton of jewels on that stage with me. And it can happen crazy like that. Yeah, Jamie, I was going to talk about that. I went door to door. I was delivering postcards. Hey, come to my Panera meeting, come to my Panera event, and nobody would show up. I sent out hundreds of invitations to my hometown, drove all the way from Georgia to Michigan to kick off my business. One person showed up, and I wish they hadn't, because I was so embarrassed that my pastor showed up. And I was like, you know what? Next time they'll see me in my Lexus, I will be back in my Lexus, and they can laugh at me then. So for me, I had to tell myself those positive affirmations. I made myself a necklace that said stronger. I had it engraved because I wanted to remember that as I was raising these 5 kids that were 6 and under by myself with zero help. Now, when I say zero, I mean, I didn't believe in babysitters, and there was no family within thousands of miles. So I was there by myself and doing this business, and kids dumping water out of the bathtub and changing diapers. And I put on Rachel Platten's song, Fight Song, and I would play it. My kids still know that song, and they remember those days of mommy growing her business, and she would play that for my sanity and just so I could tune out whatever they were doing, all 5 of them. And I would wear that necklace every day, and it reminded me that I was stronger than whatever seemed defeating in that moment, and I wasn't going to let whatever was happening stop me from my goals because I needed this business. I needed this opportunity. And I was going to prove to myself that I could, and I was going to be successful. Who's next? Anybody? Now.
I'll share a little bit. Yeah, Phil, that is so inspiring and I love it. And I have some similarities to that on my journey, but some totally different too. Because I went silver really fast and I went gold pretty fast. I went gold within 4 months and then I went senior gold, I think 4 months after that. And then I back to back ranked month after month, Ruby and senior Ruby. So it was a fast kind of journey up the ranks there. But the similarities are it did not come without hard stuff. Just like Phallin was just saying, I had Facebook haters and friends in my community making fun of me on Facebook all the time with posts and stuff like that. And that was really hard for me because I was a fresh gold and senior gold. It was, all kind of new. And I didn't have a ton of self-confidence yet. I had the belief, but it was hard. It's hard not to get beat down by stuff like that. But the affirmations definitely helped 100%. And just staying engaged with my team and my calls, the team calls and the book clubs, staying engaged, even though you're feeling like, I don't know if this is what I should do. It's really important to just keep surrounding yourself with your team and positivity and stuff where it's just going to help you grow. So that's what I did. And I also, it's funny that Phal had that necklace. I was going through that really hard time and I didn't really think I was going to quit, but definitely it crossed my mind. Like, I don't know if I want to do this because I'm embarrassed right now, but my sister for my birthday, when I was going through that, got me a bracelet that said courage. And I wore that too, just like Phallin. And every time I looked at it, it reminded me to be courageous. And that verse in the Bible, to be strong and courageous, because the Lord goes before you. And he was before me. And he kept making the path very clear that I was supposed to be in plexus and doing this. And so I just fought. I had courage. I just fought. I just kept doing the things. I was consistent. Even though they were making fun of me, I kept posting those plexus posts. And it's a good thing I did, dang it, because I mean, the people that I have been blessed with in my life because I didn't stop, it's just, everybody's journey is the same, but it's also different, but we all kind of have those hardships that we have to overcome. But let me tell you, do not stop. You will be a diamond in plexus if you do not stop. And if you keep doing the things and being consistent and growing and learning and rising above that hard stuff, you will be a diamond. And you'll learn incredible things along the way. Like all four of us can say that with our journeys, how much we have learned over the last 4 to 6 years about ourselves and how much we have grown. It is worth every second.
Yes. So for me, I guess one thing I just want to relay and communicate in the beginning, I could tell you, I would have all the mindset crap that you could possibly had if I wanted to. The people who, just growing up in things, I was definitely someone who was very self-conscious. I didn't consider myself someone who I'm definitely not like a leader, which obviously is being talked about with plexus, the bigger picture of some things, right? Something that I was shy around people who I didn't necessarily know. I had a close group of friends and I loved them and loved hanging out, but you put me in a crowd of people I don't know and have like starting conversations or having them, like it's very nerve-wracking, even going through plexus and building a team for a while. It was hard I had to make myself talk to people I didn't know and grow into someone who became comfortable with that because I was just self-conscious. I had all the worries or the insecurities. But what helped me starting off, in the beginning, like closing your eyes and pushing send for messages and posting. Oh my land. Some people, it's not a big deal. It was a big deal. I had no social media presence. I was about to cancel my Facebook account. I had 100 and something Facebook friends, I think. I don't even remember. I never posted on social media. So starting to post daily and reaching out to people was probably the most terrifying thing you could ask me to do. But I remember being on that call with Tiffany and Phallin, and I remember that their belief was we're going to the top, you can come with us. Some of the things I shared earlier. And I made that decision. You guys might have heard me talk about this before. I was like, okay, if I say yes to whatever they do and I just do what they do, why can't I go too? So that stuck with me. It stuck with me through the scary things. It doesn't mean I wasn't scared. It didn't mean I didn't think I was doing badly or whatever, but I just did it anyway because I said I was going to say yes. So that stuck with me. And another thing that really helped is I would have some thoughts come in my head in terms of, I didn't feel like a good leader, even as I was growing past gold and even to emerald. I didn't feel confident in myself. Lots of things that would come up, lots of really hard insecurities. But the second it was in my head, it went out of my head. I did not let it sit there. I did not let myself continue to say that. I talked to my upline. I replaced it right away, even without necessarily thinking. I just didn't let myself stew there. Because you know what? If I let myself stew there, I wouldn't have kept leading like team calls. I wouldn't have done the things that I needed to do to grow and be there for my people. I would have held myself back from a lot of things because it was uncomfortable, and I would not say it was in my skill set and it was not natural, right? Things like even coaching calls or leading calls or any of those things. That was not something I felt good at. My first team call, I was in a monotone voice and I don't think I smiled once. So if we based our success after the first time we did something, then none of us would be successful, right? That's the point. So we need to learn and grow through those things. So my biggest advice of that is, as you have those things, it's natural to have them, but kick it out of your head and just go forward. Talk like stay connected, like Sal said, with your community, because that matters, because everyone's cheering each other on and has the right mindset. And get those naysayers and whatever else, whether it's your own personal thoughts or other people, let them be over there. You stick where you're going to grow and surround yourself with the people who are going to help you get there.
Okay. Yes, so true. I love what you ladies shared. And I remember many of those things. So it's crazy to be here 7 years later. But so for me, my road to diamond was definitely not without naysayers and doubters. When I first began Plexus, literally the first month, I had a family member, which was my sister-in-law, had messaged my mom on Facebook and was genuinely concerned that I was going to be anorexic and kill myself with these weight loss products. Like, it caused a whole lot of family drama. So, I mean, that was pretty bold of her. But then I attended a wedding, y'all, and I was a newly a gold ambassador. I might have hit gold that month, but I think I had just hit gold. And the family made fun of me so bad at this breakfast that we were at, and we were at a breakfast the next morning. But I didn't let that opinion of them dictate who I was and where I was taking my family. We've always heard the saying that you can't let the opinions of others, they don't pay your bills, So I told them all, I said, you know what? I had confidence, I had that belief, I had the vision, and I knew where I was going. And I told them all at that breakfast, all right, y'all, you can see me in my Lexus sitting on the white sand beaches in Hawaii and earning a 6-figure income. And you know what they did, y'all? They laughed at me. And I mean, I know for so many of us that can shut us down and make us feel, weak or insignificant. But, that's the things that you have to push past, get in your phone, have daily affirmations, look at that and get past what other people are thinking, even family. I know it's tough, but can you imagine if I had listened to what they said? And I'm telling you, they were not saying nice things. And I thought, as they laughed, I thought it's totally okay, because truthfully, I felt sorry for them, because I thought, how sad is it that they've given up on their dreams, that they don't believe enough in themselves, that they could do this, like what personal growth do they need in their own life? And another reason why it's so important to apply personal growth, because as we grow, we're going to outgrow oftentimes people around us that, you know, we struggle through with things in life. So, and, you know, I've always had it, you know, the haters, those people like those naysayers, those doubters. I mean, truthfully, y'all, like, I mean, they closet your biggest fans. They really are. I mean, they're your biggest fans because they're actually admiring your life. And, you know, they have hurt in their own life that is making them make fun of you. And if you can just, you know, think back to that and have that mindset and know that, then you're going to know, like, I'm going to just pray for them and I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing in my business and continue to bless others. And I want to tell y'all and tell you that those naysayers and those people, I mean, y'all, they joined me. I mean, many of them now take these products that they made fun of me so bad for 7 years ago. So, you know, I believe that there's hope for everybody. And I don't ever think that you should let that discourage you in your business or let that fear keep you to where you're at and keep you stuck. Like, you are stronger than that. And I believe in you. So it's truly just believing in yourself. Again, the products, the business, this opportunity, everything that we offer here.
You know, when I had first started, we watched a ton of Eric Worre videos, and Cody posted a really great one in the team page. And it was talking about how fast is easy and slow is hard. And so that was our mindset. People will ask, like, how did you rank so fast? And even right now, the people that we have in Plexus and on this team who are ranking really fast, they're like, well, how did you do it? We just knew that going fast was easy and we didn't want hard. Who the heck wants this to be hard? The faster you go, the more momentum you make and off you go. You just get that plane off the runway really quickly. So the less overthinking, the better. I think there's a disservice by all of the information that is out there. It's a good thing, but all we had was Sonia Dudley and Sarah Marble. Like, those were the only videos we had. So we didn't get to overthink. We didn't have people talking about personal growth, which is important, yes, and we all did it and needed it. But we weren't sitting here for 2 years like, I just don't believe in myself. I just don't believe in myself. When I told Tiffany that they'll join her eventually, keep going, wave at them from your Lexus, that's what she did. She didn't worry about that. Another thing too is we were the leaders. We were the top leaders of our team. So we didn't have emeralds or sapphires or diamonds. We had them that we looked up to, but they weren't doing the leading for us. So we had to do those things and we just didn't overthink it. We just went and we did. And I think you need to take today and don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about, oh my gosh, how am I going to lead a team? It's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm at 100 points. How the heck am I going to get to 4,500? It seems almost impossible. I'm guessing most of you feel that way because I felt that way too. And I'm pretty good with the setting big goals and dreams, and it doesn't really bother me, but that was like, whoa, that is a lot of points. And I realized how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That was just something that kept going through my mind. So we're going to talk about doing IPA and what is the most important thing for how to work your business. But the foundation is, if you can go gold, which you all have, help 5 people go gold and you are ruby. Do that 3 times and you're emerald. It's not complicated. People think like, I don't know how to get to diamond. I wasn't worried about how to get to diamonds. I was worried, how do I help Tiffany go gold? How do I help Cody go gold? How do I get Brittany back to going to gold? That is what I did. That is how I went ruby. And then they were doing that with their people. That's duplication. So it's not complicated. We don't work insane hours, and that's what we're going to talk about now. The most important thing is to be intentional with time. So in the beginning with network marketing, you put in a lot of hours at the beginning for little pay. As time goes on, you put in those same amount of hours, whatever it is that you decide. Anybody can do this, even if they're working a full-time job, but you set those hours and then you're getting paid like $1,000 an hour. My kids, we talk openly about money around here. They think it's hilarious how much money I make a day. We're trying to teach them like, okay, we still gotta be wise with it. Like, it's just not gonna throw it away by like water. $1,000 is a lot of money, guys. But that is something you have to understand. It's not working a 9 to 5. I put in 10 hours. Why did I only make $25? That's because your 10 hours that you put in a week, when you're diamonds, you're going to have made $10,000. Okay, that is how this works. And that is the beauty of residual income. And that's the beauty of growing your own business, which is what you're doing. So the first thing you need to do, you need to be intentional with whatever time you have. Set those hours, set the 2 hours, the 4 hours, whatever it is that you have. Be intentional during your work time. Use a planner. We all have our planners here. As diamonds, they have been filled through the years with us being intentional. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about how to spend your time and how to divide your day. How much time should you spend doing an IPA? How much time should you spend doing personal growth? And how much time should you be developing your team? So once you figure out how many hours you're going to work, then you divide those hours into how many minutes you're going to put into these things.
Can you guys just focus and let that sink in a second? What you are doing now, if in terms of what Phallin just said, what you're doing now, say it's 10 hours and you're busting your butt and you feel like you're spinning your wheels and your money doesn't match what you want yet. But what does that come to later down the road? What does that turn into? That turns into $10,000. That turns into think about that. So when you're working hard, you're not working hard just for today. You're working hard because you know where you're going. You know that you're turning your few $1,000s a month into $15,000 a month, into $25,000 a month, into more. So being able to create a full-time income pay in 1 month is why you're working hard now. And it doesn't mean that when you get later into being at the top or wherever you're at, it doesn't mean that you have to work 10 times harder in terms of time. You're working differently a little bit. You're working the same. What you're doing is compounding. You have 10 of you doing what you're doing. You have 20 of you doing what you're doing because you're duplicating leaders. So you're not doing more. You're doing what you've always been doing, but you're helping other people do the same, right? So perspective. And in terms of really quick on the intentionality, we have full-time workers, we have part-time workers, we have stay-at-home moms, we have moms with kids, or married people with no kids. We have people who are not married. We have everybody doing this. So whatever your scenario, don't use your scenario as an excuse of why you can't do what they are doing. Some people may be more busy than others. It's also a choice. Everyone's busy. Everyone has different kinds of busy. Everyone has different decisions that they do with their day. So whatever time you have, you can be very intentional in an hour to 4 hours a day and get way more done than someone who's putting in 8 hours a day in Plexus. Truthfully, there are people who can work all day and not get as much done as someone who is laser focused in half the amount of time. So be specific and intentional in what you do, and be okay with not doing the bare minimum. I think sometimes that's a big thing. We check off the boxes of the bare minimum that we can do, but if you want to grow and you want to grow faster, then what's a little bit more you can do? What's a little bit more you can learn? What's a little bit more that you can reach out to? Doesn't have to be all or nothing, but instead of doing bare minimum, what's just a little bit more you can do too?
So the first part of the pie chart of how many minutes a day you should be doing on something. If you're working 100 minutes a day, I know that's such a weird number. I don't usually think 100 minutes, but if you're doing 100 minutes a day, you should be doing between 60 and 80% IPA. And I would write this down. 60 to 80% of your 100 minutes should be IPA. And then the other 10 or 20% should be personal growth or helping your team. That will change as you get closer to Ruby. Your IPA will be on the higher end as you're a brand new gold. So let's talk about IPA, guys. What kind of things are the most important things to remember with IPA, which is attraction marketing, your reach outs, and your follow-ups. You need a system for that.
Yeah, I'll start talking about a little bit about the systems and just top tips when reaching out. IPA is really important, you guys, at all levels. And you have to have a system that works for you. The same system Phallin uses, I don't use. Jaime uses a different one. Tiff uses it. We're all different. Okay, you need to figure out what works best for you, whether that's a Excel spreadsheet, whether that's a good old fashioned notebook and pen, or a calendar book, or whatever. You have to figure out what works best for you. Okay, but you have to have a system of keeping track who you reach out to and when to follow up with them. Okay, that is very, very important. I did not do that right away. I was just using my Facebook Messenger and finding the people in that, and it was not helping me. So I needed to come up with a new system. So there's lots of ideas in team pages, and you can talk to different people of what might work for you, but it's really important to create a system to keep track of those people. Okay. I think a number one tip when you're reaching out to new people is to not be focused so much on getting a sale, but focus more on being a friend and just be having a relationship with them, and not like you're selling them something. Okay, we aren't selling anything. We're sharing something that works with our friends, just like we share our favorite restaurants, lipstick, jeans, whatever. Okay, so don't try to get sales. Just reach out with intentionality to your people in being a friend and wanting to help them improve their life. Okay, so that's really important, I think, to remember. I should back up. If as a gold and a senior gold, by now, I think you probably should have your list of contacts. But if you don't, you need to have a Frank's list. That's one of the first things that Jaime and Sue told me to do. And I remember building my Frank's list. That's friends, relatives. I wrote it down because I know it, but when I get on camera, I forget. Friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kids connections, and spousal connections. Okay. And there's posts about this in our team pages too. But you should have at least 100 people written down on your Frank's list that is always evolving and changing. Okay. Because you're going to sign them up. They're going to move to your ambassador category. They're going to say, well, nope, I'm not ready. So they're going to move to this category, whatever. But you have to have a system of those people running and changing all the time. Okay. So make sure that you do that. Your Facebook friends, sit down and write all of those people down, your Instagram follows, whatever that looks like. That's really important to do. And then use our guides and our systems in our team pages. They are there for you to be successful. We didn't have those when we started. We went to gold and senior gold and ruby without any of that. And now it's so much easier. So use that stuff in the team page. It's so just valuable for your business. So I think in reaching out and thinking about who to reach out to, Tiffany addressed this a little bit, but don't be afraid. Don't get in your head when you're reaching out to new people. Don't think, oh, what are they going to think of me? Oh, my light just went off. Sorry. Don't think, what are they going to think of me? Or I'm afraid. Just do it. Just send it and do it. It's going to be okay. You're not going to die. Everything will be fine. They'll probably join your team. If they don't, the seed is planted. Okay. And you'll keep dripping on them. They'll keep seeing your stuff. Eventually they'll join your team. That's usually how it goes. So yeah, those are just a couple tips I had for reach outs.
And I'll add just a few things here too, and some things that I have found that have been valuable, but I've always said that you always want to pay yourself first. So you always want to be doing your IPA, and remember that, you're earning as you learn. Those are things that, we've always told ourselves over the years, right? So I think, and like Sal said too, don't worry about those people that you're afraid to reach out to. And I've even told myself long ago, I'm like, okay, just drop the chicken list, because I'm just going to close my eyes and reach out to them, because truthfully, you're looking for great people, great leaders, you know, people that would benefit from these products in this business. And so, you know, having them on a chicken list and not reaching out to them is, you know, a disservice to you and to them. So I think that's good to remember. And something else that I found that was just valuable, because I know people sometimes have a hard time with reaching out to people, but I have loved, and this is something that I haven't been doing, but for maybe the last year or so, but I've had a lot of engagement from it, and I've had a lot of my joins come from it and people that have joined me. But I am intentional, you know, we've heard like always use the happy birthdays in Facebook. And so now I'm intentional about getting in Messenger. I've made like a cute little graphic up, and I say, hey, you know, so-and-so, Sarah, Betsy, whoever, happy birthday. I hope you have, you know, a beautiful day. God bless you, all that. So then they say, thank you. And then it just naturally starts a conversation. And these could be people that I haven't talked to for years, but I'm now engaging with all these people, and I'm seeing that, you know, oh, hey, well, how was your day? Hey, how was your weekend? How was your week? And we're starting a conversation, and naturally it comes up some way or the other about Plexus, and they're interested. And it was such an easier way for me to, you know, be doing IPA and things like that. So I think that's just one tip that I thought has actually been pretty beneficial, and super easy. So I don't know if anyone else does that, but I like it.
Sure.
I think if anybody is struggling in any of those areas, and what I would do is, I have been very obsessed with growing in wherever I am weak. Like, I'm not going to suck at this for the rest of my life. I'm going to get this figured out. So in my planner, there was a section for notes on the side, and I would write down what topics I wanted to focus on, because again, that's being intentional. If you're like, oh, I'm just terrible at this, and this, and you just go to bed at night and you wake up the next day and you're like sitting there trying to send a message and you still feel like you're not the best you can be, that's not going to be productive. So make a list of the skills you want to learn. Follow up. I can improve in that. I'm going to watch all the videos I can on follow up. We have the Pink Powerful training group specifically, so you don't have to search like crazy. How do you go senior gold? How do you duplicate? How do you create leaders? We have put videos, and we will continue to add more. We probably need to, but there's so many there already. You could fill your whole week up with watching those videos. So this goes on to personal growth here. Most important thing with personal growth, you guys, is you have to apply it. It's not going to do you any good to sit on these calls or book club or to read if you're not going to apply what you're learning.
So why is personal growth important? Let's quick talk about that. And what is it? So like Phallin said, like, what are areas you need to grow in? What books are you reading? All these things contribute to that. So in whatever capacity that is, obviously one thing is book club, but it's beyond just showing up and showing your face at book club. What else are you doing? Is there another area that you need to work on and you're reading another book alongside of book club? Are you on there and you're engaging? There's a difference between going through the motions and actually applying what you were reading and doing. When Phallin was doing 2 years of personal growth, you better believe she was applying things, right? And she was working alongside of that. She didn't stop working. She was applying what she was reading and keeping on going with what she is doing. And it is important, it is vital, because this is what is going to shape you into who you need to become to lead people and bring people alongside with you, right? So the more personal growth you do, and if you focus on this consistently from the get-go, you are going to have a bigger growth mindset, and your leadership level, wherever it is, can go up. If you haven't read the 5 levels of leadership, that's one thing that will help like go through some of that, but your leadership level, wherever that is, can improve. You can learn and grow. I know mine certainly did. So if you are doing these things proactively now, you can bring in more people who are at a higher leadership level as well, or you can help people through the things that they're going through as well. really quick in terms of, and you guys can pop on with personal growth more here too, but in terms of the overall blanket, consistency matters. So whether it's your IPA, whether it's personal growth, whether it's working with your team, whatever, consistency and all these things matter. So if you are in and out of your IPA, if you're in and out with personal growth and doing what you need to do, if you are laser focused sometimes and out the other times, I promise it makes a difference 6 months from now. It makes a difference a year from now. It makes a difference a month or 3 months from now. It matters. So if you can be consistent in the things that you're doing, it doesn't have to be pedal to the metal nonstop, but do what you can do and be consistent in those things. It matters. Personal growth as well.
Okay, so let's go on to the next topic. You guys are running out of time. All of these things that we're talking about, it all has to be, you all have to have this down. So we're not just repeating ourselves. We want you to make a list of these most important things. So how do you work with your team as a gold without getting into management mode? Because management mode is going to slow you down. What management mode is when you stop recruiting and you start helping someone else. Okay, we got to help people go silver and help this person get to gold. No, you have to balance. Look at that ratio. 10%, 20% of your time is being spent with working with your team. So 3-way chats and 3-way calls. Sally, do you want to talk about that?
I would love to, because I cannot stress enough how important 3-way chats and the 3-way calls are. You guys, they're vital to your business. They're vital to your growth. The third-party validation that they offer is one thing. When I would, have one of my level ones come into my 3-way chat with a problem with troubleshooting, Sue, my sponsor, was in that chat to help me, to reaffirm what I was saying, to offer her perspective and advice and third-party validation. And we kept so many people from quitting, because of the detox or whatever. It is really crucial to have 3-way chats going and directing your team to always go to 3-way chat. Like if your level one comes to you and says, I'm having trouble with this. Okay, let's pop it into our Plexus chat so we can all talk about it together. Bring it over there all the time. Okay. It's really, really important. And then when you enroll someone, you got to get them on the phone. You got to get them on the phone with your sponsor. Do a 3-way call. It does not have to last more than 15 minutes. It's a quick introduction, introducing them to your sponsor. They build a relationship with them, so they're comfortable with them in the 3-way chat that you're going to be using because they trust them. They can hear about their story, and your sponsor also has an opportunity to share about the opportunity that we have in Plexus. They can tell their story and just build a relationship there. It's really important, okay, to cast vision and to just keep your people engaged and excited. So there was more I wanted to say, but it slipped my mind. But anyway, 3-way chats and 3-way calls, you guys, you got to use them. Okay. They're just very vital to your business.
Do you have anything on that topic, Tiff, or should we go into just goal setting and?
Yeah, I'd say go into goal setting. I mean, I agree with all that. 3-way chats, 3-way calls, no matter how much you don't want to do it or don't think you need it, like you need to get uncomfortable and you need to get them scheduled and do it for sure. Like they do make all the difference because people trust you and then they trust somebody else who's even maybe been doing it longer than you. And it defaults back to that third-party validation.
Yep, exactly. So important with your business too is setting goals. And I'm sure you have heard of this acronym. You can just look it up yourself. It's called SMART goals. Your goals need to be specific, needs to be measurable, it needs to be attainable, it needs to be relevant, and it needs to be time-based. Otherwise, you don't make it happen. So they say to shoot for the moon and you'll land among the stars. So we would set huge goals, not so huge that we would get discouraged, but huge that it pushed us. So a lot of times we wouldn't hit those goals, but we still kept setting them higher. I was reading a book from Dave Ramsey, and he was talking about just they wanted to sell 1 million books, and they wanted to do it that year. They didn't for 2 years, but they didn't slow down or adjust their work or adjust their pace. They just kept going like they were the same things. And then when they hit their goal, it was 2 million instead of 1 million. So I thought that just is exactly how it is with Plexus. So when you write your goals down, make sure that they meet this acronym, and your sponsor can help you with goal setting. It is never effective to just go through and do your IPA willy-nilly just to do it. You need to say, all right, I'm silver. When am I going gold? All right, how many points do I need to go senior gold? What action am I going to take? Break it down, work your numbers down. As soon as we hit our goals, we weren't even really excited for emerald. We're like, okay, perfect, sapphire. That's how we kept going. We were like, all right, ruby, well, what's next? It's like we didn't even pause. We probably should have celebrated a little more, like did that, go out for pizza or something, but focus, go on to the next goal. Don't let that, like, okay, here we did this, but move straight on. So Jaime has some homework for you guys, and she's going to go over that right now.
All right, guys. So let's write these things down, because what we want you to do is report back to one of us on this call, Phallin, Tiffany, Sal, or me. Send it up your upline, whatever you need to, just, or private message one of us. We want your homework because we're going to use it for helping create the content for next call as well. And it is good to send to your sponsor too. So homework number 1, do your self-check. Where is your belief? What are some things that are going through your mind? If there's any limitations there that we talked about at the beginning of the call. So where is your belief right now? Number 2, I want you to identify your personal affirmations. I don't care if you've done them before, redo them, because like Tiffany said, they're always changing and you're always going through something new in your business with things as well. So what are those, like Phallin pointed out, those specific things that are holding you back, or mindset things, or you got to say the opposite of some of those things. You guys know your own things that are holding you back. You know your own limitations and things that you're saying in your head, or the things that you're struggling with. So identify those things and write your personal affirmations in terms of the opposite. Number 3, write down what your system is for being organized with your IPA. If you don't have one, then figure one out, talk to your sponsor. Otherwise, write down what you are using right now to stay organized. And lastly, write down your SMART goals that Phallin just talked about. So for this month, for even, for further beyond that, write down your SMART goals. And we are done because we're at 9 o'clock and we have team call. But ownership, guys, take responsibility for these things. And we're going to talk about way more things next time on this call.
Yep. See you guys next time. The recording will be in the team page, the gold group. Bye.
Good night, y'all.